Hi soulmate, so in today's tutorials I'm going to be showing you how I made that beautiful but gorgeous outfit. So this tutorial is into two, okay? This is the part one of it. The part one involves the drafting and the cutting, while the part two is the sewing aspect of it. I promise you soulmate, this is going to be one of its kind. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and also hit the notification bell icon. Leave me your comment at the comment section and also like my video. Thank you so much. Bye. My bust is the largest part in the upper part of my bodice. So I'm going to be using the bust to determine the size of the paper I'll be needing for this work. So my bust is 38. So 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. So to 9.5, I'm going to be adding like 4 inch to it, making it 13.5. So I will now check if this is up to 13.5. Okay, it's up to 14. So this is the shoulder, okay, and this side line here is the center front. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to place my tape right here like this and measure 8.5 inch. So this 8.5 inch is my chest line, and I will still leave my tape like that to measure 10.5. So this 10.5 is my bust point or bust line, and still leaving the tape that way, I'm going to be measuring 13.5. This 13.5 is my under bust line, and then finally I'm going to be measuring 19, which is the half length or the waistline. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead to extend the lines to the end. So the first line is the chest line, the second is the bust, the under bust, the third, and then the waistline, which is the last line here. So my shoulder is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8.5. So I'll just mark 8.5 like this. I'll also take the shoulder measurement on the chest line here, 8. I'm going to connect the shoulder mark here to this chest mark here. This forms my armhole line. Okay, the width of the neck is 3 inch, 3 inch here, and the depth of the neck is 3 inch as well, 3 inch. Since the width is 3 inch and the depth is 3 inch, so I'll just place my tape right on this intersection and mark out 3 inch. To get the shoulder slope, I will have to place my tape right on the shoulder here and mark 1.5 inch. Okay, here. So I'm going to be connecting this shoulder slope here to the neck width here. Okay, so my nipple to nipple point is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I will now place my tape at the center front here on the bust line and mark out 4 inch. I'll also go down to the waistline and mark out the nipple point 4. I'm now going to be connecting the nipple point on the bust to meet the nipple point on the waist with a straight line. Okay, I'm going to use a dotted lines. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to get the midpoint of this shoulder slope. The whole length of the shoulder slope is 5.25, so the midpoint should be 2.75. So after getting the midpoint of the shoulder slope, next I'm going to connect it to the bust line here at the nipple point. So once I have achieved that, I'm going to tighten the under bust. Okay, so from this dotted lines here or breaking lines here, I'm going to go in by 1.25 on this side, and I'm going to flip the tape to the other side and take 1.25 as well. So next I'm going to do the over bust tightening. So to do that, I'm going to go up from this chest line by 1 inch. I'm just going to extend this 1 inch a bit. I'm doing the over bust tightening now. I'm going to place my tape right on this line. I'm going to mark 1/2 inch. And I'm going to flip my tape on the other side and mark 1/2 inch as well. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to bring the under bust tightening with a curve to meet the bust point here and also to meet the over bust tightening. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure that it's not pointy around the bust. So in order to avoid that, this is what I do. From the bust, I'll come down by 3/4 inch here. Okay, 3/4 please, so that it doesn't have a sharp bust point. Okay, but if you're so busty, you can come down with 1 inch. Okay, so now I'm going to be connecting this with my cuff. So I'm going to place my cuff right like this. I'm also going to place my cuff like this to go up with it to meet here. I'll also do the same for the other side. So I have done that. I'm just going to shade this part because I'm going to cut it out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is on this bust line here, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. So this is my cleavage level. I'm now going to take that cleavage in by 1/2 inch and I'm going to come to the under bust here and take 1/2 inch in on that line. So once I have done that, I'm just going to connect this 1/2 inch to this cleavage line here. I'm going to connect the under bust tightening here, this part, to meet the cleavage up here. I'm now going to go with this cleavage level to meet this one here. I will now start inserting the measurement. Okay, so for the bust, my bust is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. So on the chest line, I'm going to be marking 9.5 here. I've marked it. Okay, and I'm going to come right here on this tightening. I'm going to measure out what is there. So this seems like 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to add this 1/2 inch right here. All right, I have added it. Okay, that is it for the bust measurement. So on the bust line, I'm not going to be applying any measurement to it because I've already done it to the chest. So there's no point doing it on the bust. So on the under bust, I'm going to take my measurement from this center front, not from the cleavage here. So I'm going to take it from the center front. So my under bust is 32. So I have marked 32 divided by 4 is 8. So I marked 8 here. Okay, so I will now come here and take that here. That's the under bust tightening. This is 2.5. Okay, 2.5. I'll come over here and add it to what I already measured, 2.5. Before I insert the waist measurement, okay, I want to explain something here. There is an imaginary line that is supposed to go from the under bust tightening here down, and from the other tightening parallel. I mean the same measurement to meet the waist. What I mean is that from this broken line here, I measured out 1.25 for the under bust tightening. So I'm supposed to be doing it to the waist here. Okay, at the same broken line, I'm supposed to be measuring 1.25, there too. And also on the other side is 1.25. So I'm supposed to measure 1.25 here as well. Okay, that is supposed to be the imaginary line, but I didn't do it because I actually wanted to use the designing of my bony. That's the way I'm going to design the bony. I'm going to put the dart along with the design. Okay, so now I'll just take the waist measurement now. I hope you understand this. Okay, so the waist measurement, my waist is 29. Okay, so but I want my waist snatched, so I'm going to be doing 27 instead of 29. So 27 divided by 4 is 6.75. So this is 6.75 here. All right, after I applied my 6.75, I'm going to come and add that imaginary line 2 points. I'm going to, this is 2 points. That's from the dart here. From the tightening here is 2.5. So I'm going to be adding it to the waist as well. 2.5. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to, map out my bodies. So I'm going to connect the waist to the underbust, and then the underbust to the bust. That's where the chest is. All right, so you see that the line is kind of curvy like this, maybe not taking a a female shape or that kind of shape, but don't worry, it's very okay like this, because by the time I take in this bust tightening, automatically the shape will form. Okay, so that is not an issue at all. So to get the bust dart, my front half length is longer than that of my back. My front half length is 19 and my back half length is 16. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to minus 16 from 19, and that gives me 3. So that 3 is what I'm going to be using for the bust dart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here on the bust line, on that map where I mapped out. I'm going to place my tape like this and mark out 3 inch. So this is 3 inch. Now I'm going to be connecting those 3 inch here to meet the nipple point on the bust line here with a straight line. All right, so this area like this is going to form my bust dart. Okay, so now I'm going to close up this dart, the bust dart, to get the second cup. So now I have closed up the dart. If you observe, you will discover that the measurement from the chest is shortened. So I'm just going to blend it, okay, in order to complete the measurement. So now the next thing I'm going to do is so after I've covered the dart, I'm going to come right on this chest line here, and I'm going to come in with my tape from here to 1 inch. Here is 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to connect another cup to meet those 1 inch that I marked out. Not this one here, please. Just connect it like this. I have achieved that. I can go ahead to loosen this, but I will still close it up again when I'm cutting it. So I have achieved the cup for this. So once I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to connect this point here to meet this one here. So once I am done with that as well, I'm going to mark out or design how I want my bony lines to be. So I'll just mark out one of my bony here, and also another one here. So I'll just go, I want to slant my bony. On the waist, I'll just come by 2 inch. So I'm going to connect it, and also I'll just take the measurement from here to the next bony, which is 3.75. I'm just going to bring it down here, 3.75, and I'm going to connect the bony. So this is my one bony, and this is my bony number 2. All right, now to this bony that I have marked like this, I'm going to share the under bust tightening or the darts, and also the imaginary, just the same as this amount. I'm going to share it among these bonies here. Okay, so I will have to measure the under bust tightening. This is 2.5. Okay, so I'm going to divide it into 4. 2.5 divided by 4 should be around 0.65 or so. So I'm now going to come to this first bony here and apply 0.65 on each side of like this. This is side 1 and this is side 2. Maybe I will just extend it to this point like this. So I'm also going to do the same to the under like this. So now I'm going to connect. The remaining of this 2.5, so the remaining of it will go for this one. Okay. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share. Thank you. So I'm just going to go little with this part because I don't want it to go up like this. So I'm just going to reduce it here. Okay. And add it more here. On this part, I'll add it more. Okay. So let me check. This is, okay, this is 1.25. And the other one is almost 1.25. Maybe I'll just have to come in like this to take it more. So this is 1.25. So now I'm going to be shading it like this. So I have equally shared the dart. Okay, this is 1.25. From here to here is 1.25. From here to here is 1.25. So that is exactly what I did. And also on the waist, 1.25, 1.25. So after I'm done with this, I'm just going to cut, right? But before I cut, I have to cover back the bust dart here. I will just slash this into 2 like this. Before I complete the cutting, I'll just have to mark each side, okay, to know which part to join to which part. So I'm just going to mark this one like this. This is 1 notch and this is 1 notch. Later I'm going to apply the notch on the fabric when I'm cutting it, okay? But this symbolizes that these two are together, okay? On this part, I'm going to give it 2 notches, okay? Here though, just remember your 1 notch. And also 2 notch here. Then the up one can be 3. So I'm just going to mark it like this. I'm going to give it notches like this so that I will know that this belongs to this, and also like this. This belongs to this. So now I'm going to be drafting out the back pattern. Already I have marked out the shoulder and the center front. So from the shoulder, I'm going to be drawing my chest line, which is 8.5. And from there, I'm going to draw my back half length, which is 16. And I'm going to be squaring these lines. So my back half length is 16, different from the front half length. So next, I'm taking the shoulder measurement. Remember, my shoulder is 16, so divide by 2 is 8. And I'm also taking the shoulder measurement on the chest line to get a straight line. So next, I'm going to be getting my neck width, which is 3, the same as the front. And my neck depth is 1, okay? So I'm just going to connect it like this. This is ½ inch. Next, I'm going to be getting my shoulder slope from the shoulder to this line here. That's the armhole line. I marked down 1.5. So now I'm going to be connecting the shoulder slope here to meet the neck width. Next I'm going to do here is to get my nipple to nipple measurement on the chest line. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then I'll also get it on the half length. Nipple to nipple measurement 8 divided by 2, 4. I'm now going to connect this with a straight line. So next I'm going to be taking that on this nipple line. On the chest, on the half length on the nipple line, I'm going to be taking in 0.75 that, and on the other side 0.75, but I'm going to come down by 1 inch like this so that I won't connect it to meet the chest completely. I'll just stop here. So I'll just bring my dart to meet that point. Alright, I'm also going to apply that on this center back here. I want to go in by 1 inch, okay? This is because I have a deep back. So if your back is not so deep, you can go in by ½ inch, okay? Or 0.75. It all depends on how your back is. So now I'm going to be connecting this here to meet the neckline, the neck here at the center front. The new line, this is now the new center back line, not this one. So I'm just going to shade it because it's not part of the work. So on the chest, I'm going to be taking the bust measurement, which is 38 divided by 4, which is 9.5. This is 9.5. So I'm going to be taking my waist measurement, which is 29, but because I want it snatched, I made it 27. So 27 divided by 4 is 6.75. So this is 6.75. I'm now going to come here and take the dart measurement from here to here, and it's 1.5. I'll just come here and then add my 1.5 to this, okay? And once I have done that, I'm just going to connect it from this shoulder slope to this neck width. I'm going to get the midpoint. The whole length is 5.25 inch, so the midpoint should be 2.75, 2.65 or so. So this is the midpoint here, and I'm going to connect it to this here, this one here. I want my neck depth, I want my neck to come down to 9 inch. So this is 9 inch, just half inch away from the chest line, and I'm just going to connect it to meet this one here. Because I'm going to cut out this up chest here like this. I'm just going to come to this new line on this middle here. On this side I'm going to take in 0.25, and on the other side 0.25 like this. So I'm just going to connect it with the initial dot. This is because I wouldn't want it to be pointy. So I will take the measurement from this part, from the shoulder here to this where the neckline stops. So that is going to be the length of the strap I'm going to be using for the back. So this is like 8.25. So from here to that, from that line to that strap is 8.25, and the one for the front is 6.75. So I'm going to be using 8.25 plus 6.75 will be the strap that will go from the front to the back. Okay, so now I'm going to just cut out this. I'm going to come to this back here. This is the chest line. I'm going to take it in by 1.5 like this. All right, this is 1.5, and I'm going to bring this 1.5 to meet the waistline here. So this is for the back lacing. This is a corset. You're supposed to have a rope at the back. So after I'm done with that, I'm now going to give it notches in order to remember what part is what part. So this double stripe is for the back, the center back, okay? And one of it like this is for the mid part, and I'm going to do this the same thing to this. That means this one connects to this one, and for the back I'm going to just go in with it like this, like two, so that I will know where each one belongs. And also I'm going to give 3 here, 3 and 3 here as well, to know that this side is for this side, so that I don't confuse it with the down part. Okay, so that is exactly what I just did. So make sure that you do your own like that, so that you avoid all this confusion. Okay,